Hey, welcome all. Coleman Certified SBA Loan Training Office Hours. Lance, welcome back.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we changed the time. We're trying to work this out. I see a lot of familiar names. We got Flushing. We got New York. We have Michigan. I shouldn't say names. Louisiana and Arkansas. How's the weather in Arkansas, Lance?
You know, Bob, we've been in the rainy season, and we've had rain 9 out of the last 10 days, which I'm sure you guys in California would like us to load some up and bring it out.
We would like to do that. Let's go to the first poll question. Again, we ask your questions. You can raise your hand if you want to go live and ask a live question. Send emails during the week. This is your time. We respect your time. This isn't. We want you to log on to be able to get something useful out of this. So real quick, Lance and I were talking, we decided Friday was bad for him and I. We tend to be gone, especially during the summer, I imagine for you as well. So open it up. What do you think?
Bob,
What's your preference, everyone? Yeah, Lance, go ahead.
Bob, you know us bankers. Sometimes Friday at 1 o'clock we like to find a golf course.
Or a bar. And the results are, what was it, the old Johnny Carson thing? And the survey says, all right, we're done. We will do every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We will do that every week. I know we're in week 5 of closing. We're going to open this up to alumni. The purpose of this is just a real quick rehash of what's going on in the world and to answer specific questions.
There's a lot going on in the SBA world right now.
Well, yeah. I mean, everything hit this week. And for you B&I lenders, major announcement coming out tomorrow on big program changes. I don't know what it is. It's going to be in the Federal Register. We'll broadcast that. If you don't use the B&I loan program, use it. Lance, do you use it at your bank, rural Arkansas?
We do not, Bob, but that's because we're working real hard to build. We want to be the dominant SBA lender in our region, and we're concentrating on that. One thing I want to throw out, we're talking about a lot that's going on, Bob. I was talking to somebody in headquarters about SBA 1. SBA 1...
Hold on. Poll question. Okay. Hold on. Poll question. There we go. Boy, how's that for a segue, Lance?
That's awesome, Bob. I just wanted to share with everyone, the October 1st deadline for SBA 1 is going to be a hard deadline from what I've been told. Sometimes SBA throws deadlines out and they kind of waffle on them when they get closer. But I have been told that if you want to submit an SBA loan under GP submission, you will have to use SBA 1 after October the 1st. So if your bank has SBA 1 and has been using it and feel real comfortable with it, fantastic, you're going to be ready. If you're not comfortable submitting an express loan, a PLP loan, and very importantly a GP loan, make sure you get appropriate training, Bob. And I hate to be a promoter, but we do have an excellent SBA 1 certification series coming up here in about a month where I'm going to walk through the process step by step for an express loan, a PLP loan, and a GP submission.
For you 20% sign up, you have to. It's and there's no downside. You can sign up, but still you don't have to use it yet, but sign up. And this brings up our next poll question.
Well, Bob, and being on SBA 1, yesterday a board member dropped in and asked how we're doing because our SBA portfolio has grown dramatically. And guess what I did, Bob? I popped in SBA 1. I pulled up our Paris score, and I just shared information with our board member about our SBA lending, servicing, and liquidation effort. Thankfully, we don't have anything in liquidation, by sharing with them the pair score information found in SBA 1. The best way to manage the score, and Bob, we've had significant improvements since SBA 1's allowed me to see what type of SBA loans negatively impact your pair score. So it's possible to manage it and to improve it by having the information provided in SBA 1.
Lance and I are big believers in transparency. I know, Lance, you share your Paris score with your staff. I believe everyone who works in an SBA department should know what your institution's Paris score is. If you don't know
Hey,
it,
Bob,
yeah, go ahead, Lance.
it's like we're attending, of course, I'm from Arkansas, a Razorback football game, and we're scoring touchdowns when
Where's this going, guys?
thankfully, guys that are on the call, of course, Bob and them, they're USC fans, and I don't even want to remember the last time Arkansas played USC because I think it was like 55-7. But it's like you're at a ball game and you score a touchdown. If you share the information with your loan officers, you share the information with your originators and closers, they're going to get more motivated as they see that score improve by their efforts.
And what is the acronym for Paris, Lance? I know I always stump you on this. Peer Analytical Review.
Performance is performance, and asset is basically performance, asset quality, regulatory,
There's no Q in
risk.
Paris. All right, well, let's move on.
Risk, special items. That's what
Let's
it is.
move on. And let's talk about news of the day real quickly. Are you planning on using the 504 refinance program at your institution? Real quick answers on that.
Hey, Bob, I have a quick comment on this. The last time the 504 refinance program was in place, I was deputy director at the Little Rock Commercial Loan Servicing Center. 504 activity was off the charts, and of course it's been in a lull since 504 refinance has went away. This is exciting news, Bob, because 504 is going to become very relevant.
You know, my attitude is, I mentioned the B&I. There's going to be situations, Lance, in your future where it doesn't make sense for SBA. For example, B&I does not have a 51% occupancy rule. And if you've maxed out an SBA, you can go B&I. You can piggyback. Same thing with 504. There's a lot of nice loan products that you have in your toolbox to take care of your customer. Question from Sheila. Thank you, Sheila. Can a personal unconditional guarantee on an SBA 7A loan be dismissed in bankruptcy? My understanding is after the loan has been wrapped up and we send it out, the deficit will be turned over to Treasury, and they will follow up.
Well, I have a lot of experience with this, Bob, because I was actually involved with taking care of the congressionals for the eastern half of the United States. And what a congressional at SBA means, when a customer calls and complains, that's a congressional. And probably the most common question that I got was related to Treasury referrals. And a normal liquidation process, once you've liquidated all the collateral and you've looked at the guarantors and you've made a determination that you've liquidated everything you can, applied it to the loan, then you make a recommendation for charge-off and wrap-up. If the guarantors have not filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy and had a dismissal, they are referred to Treasury. Treasury, they are strong collectors, Bob. If you have an IRS my favorite call is I would get a call from somebody, I can't file my taxes. And I'm like, well, what do you mean you can't file your? Well, I won't get my refund. And I'm like, yeah. He said, when I tried to file my taxes, a special message comes up and it says it goes straight to Treasury. Well, Treasury does a great job of collecting once that's made. If you go out to Vegas, Bob, and win a big can, guess what? Treasury will get it. But if a borrower files Chapter 7 bankruptcy and the debt is dismissed, a Treasury referral cannot be made. So the answer to the question is absolutely yes. If there's a dismissal in bankruptcy court, the U.S. Treasury referral is not pursued.
And if you don't have a bankruptcy, you can discuss offer and compromise. Very powerful tool.
Absolutely. And this is, you know, we have a lot of discussions, and the funny thing, Bob, is there are attorneys across the United States who promote themselves as offer and compromise specialists with SBA. And the fun part of that, Bob, is being the deputy director when there was an OIC that came into Little Rock, I was the final signature on it. And I can tell you that not that many offer and compromises got approved, but one of the times when an OIC makes sense is when all the collateral's been liquidated and the guarantor does not want the Treasury referral and they make a reasonable offer to be released, that's one of the times when offer and compromise can get approved by SBA. So it's certainly a tool in the toolbox.
And offering, and the most common reason that's unfair. One scenario is you have a guarantor, an uncle, a dad, someone who guaranteed the loan. The kid
Yeah,
screwed it up, and uncle says, "Look, I need to get off this. What can I do?"
yeah, the most commonly accepted and approved offer and compromise is exactly what Bob indicated. You've got an SBA loan where, my dad's name is Jack. Let's say I went out and borrowed some money to start a business, and my financial statement was not strong enough, and they asked for my dad's personal guarantee. Dad had nothing to do with the business. He's just a personal guarantor. I default, and they liquidate the assets. They go after me, and then my dad's sitting there saying, I won't release, so he makes a cash offer to be released. Those very commonly are approved by SBA.
Lance, we had a webinar on BDO compensation. I think we have some BDOs on the line. And this came up. It says, when do banks normally pay on a construction loan? I'd like to have your input. What I said is I would give them credit for the loan up front for their tier bucket to allow them to hit their year-end goals, but I wouldn't pay them a commission until the bank sold the loan or booked the asset, which could be 18 months down the line. Lance, what's your opinion?
I think you're 100% on point there, Bob. Paying the full commission up front, I think, is a mistake because I know institutions that the BDO brings a deal, they approve it, SBA approves it, they pay them at that point, and the deal never closes. Certainly you'd want to have some sort of documentation that allowed you to recover, but the reality of it is recovering that payment after you've made it is certainly a lot more problematic. I think you want to tier the payments and have the bulk of it loaded toward either the sale of the guarantee on the secondary market or the close and booking the loan at your bank.
And the compensation, the second part of the question, it's the same as it would be in their normal commission package. You should all have a copy of the SBA 504 refinance notice. There it is. Just Google it. Joseph, do we have it in the? Yes. Okay, you can download it in the handout section. And I'm not going to read this to you. It will be effective June 24th, so you can start putting together the packages. And the rules are pretty simple. Go to the next slide, guys. And you need it has to be around for 2 years. It has to be current. Probably the most significant thing is off the bat, get the loan transcript. My favorite line is, well, I can't get it. People say, well, it's I can't verify equity injection from Hong Kong. I've been to Hong Kong. They got skyscrapers, internet. You can get a statement, anything. So get the statement up front, verify that they're current. If they're not current, move on. Right, Lance?
And Bob, it's pretty simple. SBA requires the transcript. You cannot do the deal without the transcript.
Get it up front.
That's such a basic piece of information that you have to have.
Yeah, I would.
Hey, Bob,
do not leave that. We're in closing week 6. Do not leave that for your closer. Underwriters, get it up front.
Hey, Bob, are we going to talk any about the law that's on the Hill? I know we did last week.
The answer is no, because we're getting to 50. We're very quickly. Okay, we'll talk about it. Go ahead, Lance.
Well, the only thing that I would want to throw out is there are a lot of significant changes in the SBA loan program, and this is not a commentary to sway you one way or direction, but as a community banker, which my bank is, there are some negative consequences to some of the changes that they're proposing, and I've taken the opportunity to reach out to all my congressional representatives and let them know how I feel about it. And I would just encourage you, if you're fine with the way they're proposing it, that's good. But if you as an SBA participant bank have some problems with some of the changes that they're proposing, I would encourage you to reach out to your congressperson.
We did a poll. 87% of the industry does not support the bill. Hopefully there will be changes. The huge one is that they want to propose the secondary market premium split from 110 to 108. There is, our polling shows that the industry would prefer to do a flat fee based on loan portfolio. Interestingly enough, it said for the smaller lenders, under loan portfolios, I said less than 10 or 20 million. People said, yeah, don't charge them. You know, on one hand, we want to encourage other lenders to get involved, and then we're putting up all these roadblocks. If you don't know what we're talking about, go to ColemanReport.com, and you can see our reporting. We're going to blast out in 45 minutes all the comments, which they're all negative. I mean, there's 3 positive and 100 negative. So we will be discussing this. We'll talk about this more. And right now, all it is proposed. It's not even, quote, in markup. So, but yeah, it's bad for the industry. Well, very good. 15 after the hour. Please keep your questions coming. I appreciate you all for joining us, and we'll talk to you next Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Thanks a lot.
See you next Thursday.